Good evening. Holy cow. I've never been so glad to have a Sunday night service in the 3 years that I've done this as I am tonight. Woo! I'm Dani Williamson, Integrative Family Medicine. And tonight we are talking about my journey the last 10 days, more than that, because I had it before that, with COVID-19 and my protocols and, many of you may not have known that I was diagnosed with COVID a week ago today, and I'm getting ready to go through all of this. As soon as you all get on, hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons, tell me where you're listening from, and I want to know your story if you've had COVID and recovered from it. And are you having any symptoms of it? Are you having any of the long-term, long hauler syndrome symptoms we're going to talk about tonight? I've got a lot of supplements over here. My protocol. So we're talking about what I've done tonight. This may not be what's right for you. This is what I've done the last 7 days today since I was diagnosed. Okay. I truly, honestly had no idea how sick I was. I had no clue, and I was talking to my friend about this today. When you're a single mom, like my friend Billy, who's just on here from Utah today, or in Utah, when you're a single mom, when you're responsible for everyone's paycheck at the office, you're the sole provider. When you are the single caregiver for your aging parent, you don't get an opportunity to stop. You don't have that choice or that luxury. So I really had no idea, and I kept going, which is what I do. I've never missed a week of work, never. And I'm actually and I didn't miss a week. I'm going to be doing telehealth. I did telehealth last week, probably shouldn't have, doing telehealth this week, but I didn't realize how sick I was until I started feeling better. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. I survived it, and I didn't have what they call, a really hard case of it. But I want to tell you what, I have slept 9 hours at least every night during this, 9 hours. And I mean deep sleep like I've never had, like not waking up sleep. One of my best friends, Trish, calls me every morning and we talk about 6 o'clock or so most every morning. She has called me nonstop in the mornings and scared to death, like waking me up like, oh my gosh, Dani, I thought you had died in your sleep in the night. And I'm like, what? So it's really an interesting journey, and we're going to talk about it. So what I will get the opportunity to do is I shared this just a minute ago when I did Facebook. When we get off of here is when I'll be able to answer all those questions, because tomorrow, of course, my schedule's not so bad. Oh, thank you for my birthday wish, girl, Carrie. I appreciate it. Yes, tomorrow's my birthday, and I am a big titty baby. I love to celebrate birthdays. I'm an only child. My mom's an only child, and we had nothing growing up, like no money. And that was the one thing we did was celebrate birthdays. I've always celebrated my family well, my kids well, their birthday. At the office, we celebrate everyone's birthdays with big dinners and presents. And I'm just sad that tomorrow I'm going to be sitting here alone. I have a friend who's going to come do dinner with me tomorrow night, socially distanced, even though I am cleared. But I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Thank you for saying that, Carrie. I appreciate that. Me and Martin Luther King. In fact, I just called my mom right before we hung up, or right before we started. And she had COVID. And I said, Mom, tomorrow's my birthday. And she said, what? Tomorrow? Tomorrow's your birthday? Damn it, Dani, which is what I got called my whole life growing up. Damn it, Dani. Damn it, Dani. I remembered it yesterday and I forgot it today. And I said, she goes, shit, that was a heck of a birth you had. And I said, what? Because I almost died. I had the cord wrapped around my neck 3 times, and I was black as black could be. They took me away. She didn't see me for 3 days. They told her I wouldn't live through the night. So I came out fighting like heck. And anyway, she was so funny. She said, you were born at 3:53 in the evening. Now I got to double check and make sure that's right. But anyway, my mom was funny about it. She said, oh, I don't even have a checkbook to write you a check. I said, oh, Mom, save all your money. It all goes to assisted living. So anyway, you're on. I see where you're from. Remember, tell me where you're from. Tell me your story about COVID. Here's my timeline. Guys, Here's my timeline. Tuesday, January the 5th. Tuesday, January the 5th. That'll be 2 weeks this Tuesday, by the way, in 48 hours. I woke up with a headache and a slightly stuffy nose. Just a little bit. My headache right here and a little bit of a nose problem. Wednesday. Oh, I worked until Thursday. I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a headache, thinking that it was barometric pressure. Because if you all remember 2 weeks ago, the barometric pressure was doing this. I went to the chiropractor. I talked to my friend Steve, who's a farrier, and I said, is the barometric pressure something going on? Yeah, absolutely. And patients were telling me in the office, the barometric pressure, their heads were hurting. They felt like it was allergies. I just never thought, right? It was a headache. I mean, I never thought it was COVID. So I worked until Saturday, January the 9th. The 5th is when my headache started. I worked until the 9th. I did a Facebook Live. If you all remember me sitting in my infrared sauna outside talking about my headache, and everyone was saying their heads were hurting them. And I said, well, come get in the sauna. And then after that video, I had so many people tell me once I got diagnosed, Dani, you look terrible on that Facebook Live. Well, again, I didn't know how bad I looked and I didn't know how bad I felt. Jackson's my kids, Jackson and Ella's grandmother was diagnosed the day before with likely lung cancer. And they were leaving to go up to Kentucky. So Jackson said, you need to go get tested, Mom. And I said, okay, fine. So I went to the physician's urgent care, paid out of pocket for a rapid test, and it was positive. What? So that was on January the 9th. I tested positive on January the 9th. Symptoms started with a headache on January the 5th. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it was positive. Jackson was negative, by the way, so he went to Kentucky. I didn't believe it was positive. So I went back on Sunday feeling even worse to a different walk-in clinic and was tested with the PCR testing. Well, it was positive. So I worked at home all last week, okay? Here's what didn't happen. I never lost my sense of smell. I never lost my taste. I had 0 lung issues, no coughing, no chest compression, good Lord, chest congestion. My O2 sats were 98 when I went to the doctor. My O2 sats have stayed 96. They're 97 right now. It says my heart rate is 83, but it's probably just because I'm talking so much. My O2 sats never dropped at all. No cough, right? My only symptoms, headache, some congestion, not bad, and fatigue. And the fatigue got severe during last week. This protocol that I'm getting ready to go through with you all is what I did all week long. I ramped it up. I was already taking most of it, but I added some things in. And so that being said, and so, yeah, I still taste and smell. But the weird thing is I don't, it doesn't taste right. Do you know what I'm saying? I can taste it, and I can taste the D-Ribose in this water. It tastes great. Tastes like it's always tasted, but just something doesn't taste right. And it doesn't, and I just haven't been hungry. I did lose my appetite. I've lost my appetite. I think I've lost weight. Just haven't been very hungry. So that being said, so the protocol that I'm getting ready to go over with you all is on my newsletter. If you do not get my newsletter, go ahead and sign up for it. I've already sent it out twice this past week. Sign up for it tonight, not right now, whenever we go off here. It's DaniWilliamson.com. Sign up for it, confirm the email, and then I will send it out to everyone who signed up tonight. Okay, I'll resend what I've sent out. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about before I get into my protocol is the psychological toll of COVID-19. I'm not a depressed patient, and I don't have depression over this, but I'm not depressed. I have a really good attitude about things. I'm just a go-getter. I just get up and go. That's what you got to do. Let me tell you something. The patients the past 9-10 months have told me about the shame of being diagnosed, the feeling dirty, as a lady said on my Facebook Live this week, the just the shame of it. And then the isolation, the depression that comes from the isolation. And then once you're cleared, because I was cleared yesterday, today. Yeah, no, wait, what's it? Sunday. I was cleared yesterday. I was free to get out yesterday. I still have not gotten out, but because I'm a little nervous about it, because I'm just nervous about it. The fear or the shame is real. It really is. I kept thinking, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I've done everything right that I'm aware of. I've taken my vitamins. I've washed my hands. I've stayed away from big crowds. I mean, I've done all the things we're supposed to do. We don't have to go through all that. I don't know where I got it. I have contact traced back in my head. I have no idea who got it. Nobody at the office got it. They're negative. Jackson's negative. Ella hasn't been tested, but she's negative. I mean, I'm sure she has zero symptoms. Nobody I've been around. New Year's Day, nobody has it. So it's really interesting. It's a mind screw for sure. It really is. And then I got really emotional. Have you all gotten emotional from it? Like, I cried 3 times yesterday thinking about, well, I should cry over this because my mom nearly died 3 to 4 weeks ago. She almost died. Had I put her in the hospital, she would have died. And thinking of how sick she was, because her symptoms were totally different than mine. Hers was all lungs. Her O2 sats were 72, 74, 76. They were calling me from the assisted living saying, Dani, I'm like, don't take her to the hospital. She'll die in the hospital. And I mean, I was trying to fight for her to keep her alive long distance. And I cried yesterday over that one. I talked to my cousin on the phone, Robin, who's on here tonight, and we were talking about yesterday about the emotional toll, just the tears. I've never cried. I got the flu 2 years ago. I didn't cry over the flu. I get a cold. I mean, whenever I get a cold, I don't get sick very often. And I've never cried over the cold. I mean, I don't cry. And no, it was not an upper respiratory infection. It was positive twice. And by the way, I want to tell you all this. If you have a positive rapid test, then you have a positive test. There was no need for me to go get checked with a PCR at all. Now, if you have a negative rapid, it very easily could be negative, right? It's kind of like pregnancy test. If your pregnancy test says positive, then you are pregnant. You're not just a little pregnant. You are full-blown pregnant. It could be a very pink line and you are pregnant. It's the same with COVID. If you're positive, you are positive, but you can be negative. You can test negative and you're still positive. So there's a higher false negative rate. It's not a high false positive rate. Trust me on this one. So the emotions of COVID have been very difficult for me. And I am an emotional person, but I don't get like hysterical. And I haven't been hysterical, but talking to my mom, thinking about how sick my mom was, calling my mom, I called her and I said, Mom, I've got COVID and I'm pretty sick, even though I'm not as bad as you are. She said, oh, Dani, she said, do you want me to come down there and take care of you? My mom hasn't driven a car in 2 years. She doesn't believe it. She thinks she drives. Hasn't driven a car in 2 years. I broke down crying and I said, Mama, you can't come down here and take care of me. My mom has never really had a nurturing bone in her body and anyway, that just tore me up because that was her first instinct, even with dementia and Alzheimer's, was to come down, but she couldn't. And then the hard thing about this as well, is everything, the fear that comes from the media, the fear that they've instilled in us. Now, this is a bad virus. But then I'm sitting here this week and on the NBC Nightly News, there was a doctor down in Florida who was sharing about the patients with the lung issues, Becky. She said 100%. Now, who knows what their lungs look like before? 100% of her patients, and she's treated thousands supposedly since this started, have residual lung damage. They showed healthy lungs and post-COVID lungs, and they all have damage. Doesn't matter if you had a case like me where I had no lung issue at all. What? There was a study in Germany that showed 60% of everyone who had COVID there had cardiac changes on their MRI. Their heart was different. So the fear that comes from this, like I was scared, and I don't get scared. I was scared every day during this. What's going to happen? This could turn in a minute, because what have they drilled in our heads on the TV is that you could be dead in a matter of hours. And that's what they tell us. And so I had to really fight through that. And my cousin and I talked about this yesterday. Robin and I did. That fear of the unknown. Well, I'm not scared every day. There's no guarantee I'm going to get back home every day. I don't think about that stuff. I'm aware of it, but I'm not worried about it. And so this is real. And what the media has done, shame on them. Shame on the media for making us feel when we get this, that something, we've done something wrong. There's dirt. You're dirty because you've gotten this. And, you could have done something more, and that, you're going to die. Even if you do fine with it, you're going to have lifelong issues afterwards. So that's what scares me. And that's a whole piece of my protocol, is the long hauler syndrome. So that being said, and I see you all are all saying all kinds of things over here. So I will definitely talk about this or answer your questions when this is over with. Okay. Hey, Dorinda, it's good to see you. So here's what I did. Now, I was already taking, as I shared in my newsletter, I ramped up my D3. Now, my D3 level is really good, but in fact, Dr. Anna Kabeka called me when she saw that I had COVID. And Dr. Kabeka, we've had her on here. She's fabulous. She said, take 100,000. I would have had to take the whole bottle, and I did 100,000 of D3 for 2 days. Now, I did not do that. I just continued. I just ramped it up to 10,000. I was only taking 5,000. I started that. But don't do that unless you know your vitamin D level, okay? Because you can get too much vitamin D. But short term, you'll be okay. You'll be okay if you take it short term. So I ramped up my vitamin D. I ramped up my vitamin C. Now, this was all after I got diagnosed on Saturday. I mean, I brought the whole kitchen sink home from the office that I had in my office there. I started taking 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It's a wonder I didn't poop my pants like in the middle of every phone consult. I took so much vitamin C. Vitamin C, D3, and zinc are three of the things that we know very well. They've had a whole lot of positive feedback on this with COVID. So I took vitamin C every few hours. Every few hours I was taking vitamin C. And you know what? It's interesting. I never got diarrhea. Never. Now I take vitamin C every day, but I don't take as much as I was taking. So my body clearly needed vitamin C. Okay. I ramped up D3. I ramped up more vitamin C. And then I ramped up vitamin A. I was not taking vitamin A, and it's a part of the protocol, right? Vitamin A heals the gut lining. Vitamin A helps boost your immune system. Vitamin A is extremely important. And so I had Jackson bring me vitamin A and drop it off on the porch. And I took 10,000 international units a couple times a day. Now, you don't want to do that long term, right? And it tastes great. I did the liquid so I could get it in there really quick. And I did it multiple times a day. Vitamin A just really boost this immune system. I started taking, and I had run out of this and not taken it for probably 3 weeks, Immune Active. This is, I think, one of the best products that Metagenics makes. It's new for them, actually. It's high dose quercetin, vitamin C, N-acetylcysteine, zinc. I'm sorry, there's no vitamin C. What am I saying? Quercetin, decaffeinated green tea, 600 milligrams of N-acetylcysteine, which is very important, zinc, 30 milligrams a day, and then vitamin C. So this has been a game changer as well for many of my patients. So I just made sure I was taking 2 a day. I didn't go above the recommended dose of this, but Immune Active, it's a good one. I started taking, I ran out of it, so I don't have it. I started taking high dose glutathione, Essential Pro glutathione, 250 milligrams twice a day. I ran out of it like 2 days ago, so I haven't taken it since then. I increased my melatonin. So you all, if you did not see Dr. Lindsay Berkson on here discussing melatonin as an antiviral, antibacterial, antioxidant, then you missed out. It was an unbelievable Sunday night service. Hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons if you saw that. It was incredible. It's on our YouTube channel. You can go watch. But she taught us about the power of melatonin, and really for COVID-19. Melatonin is on every hospital protocol that's halfway decent hospital. It's on every hospital protocol. I printed off so many hospital protocols just to see what people were doing. So I don't normally take 5 milligrams of controlled release every night. I take 3 milligrams every night, but I don't need 5 milligrams. I sleep good. I started Zymogen's controlled release melatonin. This is my favorite one. This is a 5 milligram. If you have trouble staying asleep, then you want a controlled release melatonin that's going to start releasing later into the night and keep you asleep. If you have trouble going to sleep, but you stay asleep once you get to sleep, then you don't need a controlled release. Take an immediate release melatonin. And then I added in, and I don't take this every night, Insomnitol, which has 3 more milligrams of melatonin in it, 5-HTP, inositol, L-theanine, and B6. So I ended up with 8 milligrams a night of melatonin, which on their recommendation on, this is IMASC. This is the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance treatment protocol for COVID. Their recommendation is 10 milligrams of melatonin once you have it, but I didn't do 10. 6 milligrams as a prophylaxis, right? As a preventative, 6 milligrams a day. So I'm a huge fan of melatonin, and taking melatonin will not decrease your natural melatonin that's being made in your pineal gland. So if go watch that Sunday night service to get educated on melatonin, that's a myth. That's not going to happen, right? This light I'm sitting in front of, these lights above me, this computer going here, that TV, everywhere, lights everywhere. That's what messes with your melatonin. You taking melatonin is not. And again, we're not going to talk about it, but that's what I did, man. I had it in. Sorry about that. I forgot and left my back door open. I'm trying to also, one other thing I've done is, cold as it's been, I have kept these doors open and these windows open and had cross ventilation all week long. Now, I do that anyway, but because I've been home, I haven't left my driveway other than walking in 7 days. Cross ventilation. Colloidal silver nasal spray. Again, you all know when this started back in March, this was one of my big ones right here in my box right here. Oh, I think that one of the reasons, now this is my own common sense deduction of my symptoms and what's happened to me. I think the reason I still have my taste and smell is because I started these in March. I've used colloidal silver nasal spray on and off throughout the years, anytime I had sinuses or anything like that, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. But I've been using this since March pretty darn consistently, especially my Biocidin throat spray. Oh my gosh, this stays in my car, stays in my pocket, stays in my office. In between patients, I spray it, take my mask off, put my spray. I think because I haven't lost it yet, sense of smell and taste, because I've used this nonstop. And I think I probably have protected my nasal passages, right? And my oral mucosal passages. This is an airborne virus. So that's just my own deduction. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just one of the people who didn't lose their smell and taste. I had a patient this week tell me, well, you know, that's brain damage when you lose your smell and taste. And it's this fear stuff, right? That caused me to brain damage. I don't need any brain damage. My whole family has Alzheimer's and I've got enough issues trying to keep it together. Don't need brain damage. So, anyway, this, I made sure I was using it even more. Now I already had it, but I was definitely trying to, keep all of that going. Listen to that big old stuff over there. I increased my wellness formula. You all that know me know for years, this has been one of my favorite. My dear friend, Gloria Chatham, whom I just love, turned me onto this probably 6 years ago. And I have used it ever since during the fall and winter. I don't take this during any other time. This is hands down, in my opinion. And you have to get the tablets, I think. The tablets smell horrible. I was talking about it with patients this week. They just smell terrible, like olive leaf extract. Everything known to man is in here. And I normally take 2 a day during winter. I don't take 9 a day. I ramped this up to 9 tablets. Everything. Echinacea, elderberry, olive leaf extract, C, D, everything is in this. This is a big deal right here. This is a big deal for my patients. They take this, starting probably fall, through spring. A lot of them do. And I, like I said, I usually just do 2 a day, but there's an acute protocol that says do not take more than 15 a day. Good gosh. Every 3 hours when you get sick, take 3. Do not take more than 15 tablets daily. You would smell like garlic and oregano if you did that. Biocidin throat spray, colloidal silver. You know what I did to help me with energy before I started the post-COVID protocol? And this has nothing to do with COVID. This just is because I've used this for almost 10 years since I was over at Dr. Kalb's office. This is our Neuroimmune Cream. I private label it. This is high dose right there. Methyl B12, hydroxy B12, 2 different kinds of B12, B6 and D3. It is fantastic. And for energy, for focus, for people who have a methylation issue and don't detox properly. I've used this for years. I just kept using this. Like I stopped my multivitamin during this and things like that. But I kept this in that had nothing to do with COVID just to try to help with my energy and focus. And I think it's helped. Neuroimmune Cream. We keep this on our website. You can get it right off there. We have it in the office. Of course, everything is in the office. I started taking aspirin. I didn't have any aspirin. I have no idea who bought this aspirin years ago. Must have been. I don't know if aspirin expires. Oh, it does. It did. June of 2019. Yeah, it had never been opened. Lord. Well, anyway. And it's 325 milligram aspirin. Aspirin is on the 325 milligrams is what's on the protocol, which I did not even realize today. I figured it was a baby aspirin. So I was actually cutting this in half and taking a half every other day. Yeah. But anyway, theirs is 325 milligrams a day on this protocol at this hospital through this program. But I will continue this. And I did talk to a doctor at Vanderbilt about this because of the continuing heart issues that we're seeing. And cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer for men and women in the United States. #1, beats cancer, beats everything. And do you want to know what the first sign of cardiovascular disease is for 50% of the population? First sign, 50% of the people who have cardiovascular disease. The first sign is sudden cardiac death. First and last sign. Well, I don't want that to happen. And, I don't want any clotting going on, any throwing blood clots to my lungs. So I'm taking my aspirin. In fact, I'll just continue to take 325 right now. And then as soon as I can get to the store and get 81 milligrams, I'll take that for a while. Okay. I did do azithromycin for 3 days, which is an antibiotic, because I had it, a Z-Pack. I only did it for 3 days because I just felt like I was not going to have some sort of secondary infection, lung infection. And so far I don't. And so I didn't do that. I started using all of my Young Living. And I mean, I brought out everything. You all are going to laugh. This isn't all my Young Living oils, by the way. I need something to keep these things organized. I brought out I use thieves all the time. I put it in my water. I do. But let me tell you, I smelled like a thieves bomb in here. I was diffusing. I had it on the bottom of my feet with, oh wait, that's wintergreen. Oregano, wherever oregano is. I use a ton of oregano. Where's my oregano? There it is. My key when I start to get sick is I rub oregano oil and thieves on the bottom of my feet and put socks on and go to bed. I had this breathe deep all over my chest, even though I can breathe. I mean, I oiled up like crazy. That was a big one for me. I sat in that sauna over there, which you all have seen me talk about a million times, 3 to 4 times a day. 3 to 4 times a day. I got up. I would drink a huge glass of water. I would get in that sauna and I was wringing wet. And I mean, one day I sat in it over 2 hours. Not at the same time, but and it was, I think it's one of the reasons I've slept so well as well. That sauna has been the best investment I've ever made at the office. And I brought it home. And for those of you that can't see, well, there we go. There it is right there. It looks janky in my little living room over here. I have no room anyway in my house. I've got a 1,200 square foot house, but I don't care. It's going to stay right there, right here. It's just like a treadmill or anything. Put it where you're going to use it. Now, who cares how it looks? I don't give a rat's ass how things look anymore. I mean, I keep my house clean. I keep it straight. I have a nice house, but I wouldn't use that if I'd have put it in the garage. I'm not going to the garage. I'm not going to sit in the garage. My garage is a mess over there. But I've watched webinars. I've learned, I've studied while I've sat in that sauna. That's a big deal for me. I increased my water intake to over 200 ounces a day. I mean, I've drank more water the last 7 days than I have I couldn't tell you. I mean, I drink a lot of water, but I don't drink that much water. Yesterday, I had an IV IV come to my house. I Revive Health and Wellness came to the house once I was cleared. Yes, guys, if anybody who knows any of the answers that are being asked, just go ahead and type the answers up. Holly, if somebody's answering, go ahead and answer for me right now. Relax Sauna is on the website. Okay. If you go to relaxsaunas.com, you have a $75 permanent, or you have a $75 discount if you use the code WILD. And last Sunday night, Phil was on here who runs Relax Saunas. And so you can watch the Sunday night service and learn all about Relax Saunas. It's a game changer for sure. But I had an IV yesterday afternoon here. Jamie, who's a family nurse practitioner, graduated from the same program I did. He owns I Revive Health and Wellness here in Nashville. They wouldn't come until I was cleared by the health department, which I'm grateful. And so I was on Saturday, and they came Saturday, and I sat right here on this couch, and I had an IV Myers cocktail, all the B vitamins, all the Bs, 1 through 12, lots of niacin in it, vitamin C, extra push of vitamin C, an extra push of glutathione because I had ran out of glutathione. It was a high dose, I think 1,000 milligrams of glutathione. And I sat here for 45 minutes with him, and I had an IV. Now, not everyone can do that. And I know that. That was my birthday present to myself, Carrie, my birthday present. And it was $300. So it was $100 to get him here for their fee, for their traveling fee. So it was $209 is what it would have been sitting in there. But I added a lot of extra things. And I was blessed to be able to do that. And I realized there were not too many years ago, I could not have done that. And again, I cried over that yesterday because I had the money to be able to do that. And I also sat here for a week and spent not one penny. I bought 2 doormats for my front door, and one for my front door, one for my back door. And then I refused to go on Amazon because I was afraid I'd spend money. So that's what I did for me, and it worked. That's my protocol. Okay, that's what I did. And then I thought, what am I going to do? Because every podcast I listen to in the functional medicine world, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dave Asprey, brilliant man. They're all talking about post-COVID syndrome. Post-COVID syndrome, long hauler syndrome. And so I was like, whoa, I'm not getting that. I have good energy. I was born with good energy. I do not get tired. I work like a dog and I go like crazy and my energy's good. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please hold. Ivermectin, for crying out loud. I forgot to tell you all. I think what turned everything around were two things, ivermectin and SPMs. This right here, these two things, I think turned everything for me while I was feeling so badly. My primary care provider, her nurse said, she's not going to write ivermectin for you. She's not going to write it. And I said, well, why not? I was on the phone, didn't feel good. She said, well, no, she's not written it for anyone. And I said, well, I don't know why she wouldn't, because it works. And if she's up on the research, which there's not a ton of research on it. So, I mean, I knew I was pushing the boundaries. She said, well, I'll call you back, but she's not going to write it. Okay. So I'd already texted somebody else and said, will you write this for me? And of course I could write the prescription, but you don't write your own prescriptions. So she called me back in about 5 minutes. She was not happy. She said, Dr. Dunn, my primary care doctor, wants to know where do you want this sent? And she also wants you to know that this is not FDA approved. And my exact response to her was, did I write it on here? I said, I don't care. I said, yes, I'm aware it's not FDA approved, but it's the wild, wild west right now with COVID treatments. So I'm going to take my chances. She was like, she didn't find that funny at all. Let me tell you something. So ivermectin, if you all don't know what it is, it's a dewormer, right? We use it for worms and animals and mange and things like that. Well, it's being used to treat COVID-19, acting as an antiviral, right? An antiviral and helping block or dampen down that cytokine storm as well. And I'm going to tell you something. So I took 4. Dr. Berkson, I called her because she's taking it prophylactically. I talked to Dr. Berkson and she said, split it up, take 2 and then take 2 more so you don't have any, make sure you don't have any gut issues. And I took 2 and I didn't have any gut issues for about 45 minutes, didn't have anything. So then I took the other 2. I just wanted to get all 4 in. It's dosed off of weight. And so I took 12 milligrams on whatever day I took it, day 1. And then on day 3, 5, and 7, you take 4 or 12 more milligrams. And I'm just telling you right now, it's a big deal. I felt so much better after doing that. And look here, it's on multiple protocols. Ivermectin, this is on the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance, their protocol. Ivermectin, dosed per day, and then you continue, whatever. This was a big deal for me. And the more I read about it, the more I don't understand why everyone's not getting it. Now, we have a provider here in town who owns a health clinic. He was very sick with COVID here recently. He was in the hospital here at Williamson Medical Center. They gave it to him. Now, I suspect, because he's up on functional medicine things, I suspect he had to fight for it. And he got it. So anyway, ask your healthcare provider if you get sick. You can also use it prophylactically. Look it up though. Do your research. Go to, well, I'll post this up before we end. You all remind me. Well, let me do it right now. I hate this. I don't like breaking up stuff. But if you go to Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance website. I don't know what the website is. Go there to get their protocol. I'm going to share that right there. And so y'all just take a picture of it, okay? And you can print it off. And so, it's actually, I apologize, www.flccc.net. Ivermectin ETC protocol. This, you guys are gonna love this. This is, I mean, I did more than this, but this is their protocol. And so this is straight up for you. You got to take a picture of that because it is that's a big deal right there. That was the first thing I did. And then I started, if you saw my Facebook or Instagram live last night or 2 nights ago, I started SPMs, okay? High dose SPMs, specialized pro-resolving mediators. I should have done this 10 days ago. I'm so mad at myself. We were out of them. We sold out. And anyway, I didn't do it. SPMs, if you don't know what those are, go to Instagram last night and watch, because I did a whole video on this. They help resolve the immune response and decrease pain, specifically the headache that I had. I took my second dose of SPMs. I took 4 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. No headache. No headache for the first time in 9 days. And this was 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I mean, nothing knocked my headache. So let me tell you about SPMs. They're pretty new. Metagenics is who makes them, and we have them on our website. So if you order off of their Metagenics store on our website, you get $5 off your first order. So just so you know that we put it up like that. A few years ago, Allie has used them, my office manager, for a couple of years. We had them initially, but they're expensive. This bottle is $118 for 120 pills. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Here's what they are. They're derived from fish oil. Okay. Allie takes them for her headache. She takes 2 every day. My rep takes 4 every day. And she also takes them prior to her workouts because she works out better. What pro-resolving mediators do is they help resolve inflammation. They don't block inflammation. Okay. Not like an NSAID or something like that. They don't block it. They help resolve the inflammation before you get out of control. Helps reduce inflammatory markers like highly sensitive C-reactive protein, fibrinogen, PGE2, all your inflammatory markers. These were created in collaboration with Dr. Sirhan at Harvard Medical School, who's been studying specialized pro-resolving mediators for over 30 years. They are derived from fish oil. So they look just like fish oil. They are fish oil. I mean, they're specific parts of the fish oil. There's emerging research, which this is fascinating to me, on SPMs for neuroinflammation. We're talking dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, anything to do with inflammation of the brain. Dr. Darian and I called and taught him about it. He was like, what? Also, emerging information coming out on SPMs with endometriosis, diabetes. Let me see what else. Diabetes, post-surgery. I had a patient who had a car crash, a horrible car crash on I-65. I started her on 8 of these a day for about 4 days, and then her pain level went down like this. So what SPMs do is they Pac-Man, they eat up the macrophages. Okay. So they eat up the inflammation. They don't block it. They eat it up. It's fascinating. And so patients with migraine headaches, you take 4 of those or 6 of those and they're gone. It's really incredible on decreasing inflammation. I'm mad that I had not really studied these 3 or 4 years ago when we got them in. I just was really, I just didn't do it. These are what took my headache away. If you're struggling with the headache from COVID, or you struggle with pain or headaches, it's definitely worth a shot. I mean, they are pricey, and we got restocked Friday. And then we have a whole big shipment coming in, because I am telling you, I would have done about anything to have gotten rid of that headache. And this, I think the combo, this helped me turn the corner feeling better. This took the headache away. So even though everything I was doing was part of all these other protocols, this one needs to be on these big protocols right now. for sure. So that's that. Okay. Now, what am I doing for long hauler syndrome? CoQ10, D-Ribose, L-Carnitine, and PQQ. Now, I have 4 posts on this on Instagram all week long. We shared one a day. CoQ10. We're going to start with CoQ10. Who takes CoQ10? Hit your buttons. Tell me about CoQ10. I just started it. I've never taken CoQ10. The research shows anybody above the age of 50 needs to be on CoQ10. CoQ10, D-Ribose, L-Carnitine, PQQ are all part of the mitochondrial health in our body and creating ATP, right? Which is the energy in your cells. So when I was trying to put a protocol together, CoQ10 was something I'd already heard of. I mean, is already obvious. But then I came up with these other 3 as I was reading about ATP and mitochondria and trying to get myself back to ATP, right? So CoQ10. It decreases breast cancer. It's quite fascinating about CoQ10. So every single cell uses CoQ10 to make energy. Most of our tissues naturally make CoQ10, okay? When we go through years of stress, when we have free radicals in our body, oxidative stress, and all that, our naturally occurring CoQ10 in our body starts to deplete along with our energy. CoQ10 is required to make ATP, the body's main storage form of energy. It's well documented in clinical study after clinical study that CoQ10 creates energy. Low CoQ10 has also been associated with breast cancer. What? Many pharmaceuticals also deplete CoQ10. Statin drugs, which are designed to lower your cholesterol, they wipe out all your CoQ10, up to 40% of all your CoQ10. Other drugs also deplete it, antibiotics, over-the-counter meds. Check with your healthcare provider and see if CoQ10, right, is something that you need to be taking, which I think it does. You do. Food sources, oily fish, beef, broccoli, cauliflower, liver, salmon, pork, nuts, all of that. The average dietary intake of CoQ10 during the day is 3 to 5 milligrams a day. What? Far below the recommended 50 to 1,600 milligrams a day, depending on the condition. I've been taking 200 milligrams a day. 2 of those pills right there. 2 of those is what I've been taking every day. And you can ramp it up even. This is the one I'm taking. There are other good ones out there. This is Ubiquinol, and Ubiquinol is oh good Lord, is another form of CoQ10. Most tissues in our body make it. Sometimes CoQ10 is called ubiquinone because it is ubiquinous. Okay, so CoQ10. I think this has been a big deal for me. And then I added in L-Carnitine, which the L-Carnitine and D-Ribose are 2 things that I've had forever at the office. L-Carnitine. Whoops, I'm skipping one, but it's okay. I will come back to that. L-Carnitine is naturally made in our bodies. It's derived from the amino acids lysine and methionine. Its role is critical in energy production. It helps facilitate the transport of fatty acids into our mitochondria, helping the mitochondria work well. Just like CoQ10, D-Ribose is needed to make ATP and produce energy. Where's it going to be found? In food, mainly animal proteins, mainly meats. So plasma carnitine is low generally in vegetarians and vegans. Apricots, asparagus, bananas, beans, collard greens. These are all things that oatmeal, okra, all have carnitine as well. What are some symptoms of carnitine deficiency? Floppy muscle tone, swelling, edema, fatigue, irritability, muscle weakness, shortness of breath. Conditions that may benefit from L-carnitine: Alzheimer's disease, erectile dysfunction. Who knew? Depression, high cholesterol, hyperthyroidism, and many more. And I shared all of this on Instagram this week. Recommended dose is around 500 to 4,000 milligrams a day on an empty stomach. Remember, it's amino acid derived from amino acids. Ask your provider. Okay, ask your provider, right? This was what was in my Instagram post. Avoid, ask your provider if you could use it. All right. It's helped me. And it has helped Jody. Jody's taken L-Carnitine because she works out and she's an Ironman and all. Jody's taken L-Carnitine on and off. L-Carnitine and D-Ribose, these two right here, you all have heard me talk about forever. Both of these are in our fat to energy lemonade in lower doses, not this high of a dose, right? I learned about both of these from this book years ago. This is my favorite book on fibromyalgia. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum is a medical doctor who had chronic fatigue syndrome. And this is where I learned all about, he signed it. I didn't realize that. All about D-Ribose and L-Carnitine. So I'm a big fan of L-Carnitine. I've added it too. This is my long haulers protocol. CoQ10, L-Carnitine, D-Ribose. Okay, let me tell you about D-Ribose. Okay. D-Ribose is a sugar molecule. Our body uses it to make ATP. Every one of these four, it does. ATP stores the energy that's obtained from metabolism of food and all of that. Okay, we naturally produce D-Ribose, but we do it slowly. The liver produces probably the most in our body, okay? But other organs like the heart and the brain and our nerve tissues and muscles only produce what is needed to meet our daily needs. So when you are already depleted of it, you're not making enough to meet your daily needs. So like CoQ10, as we age, we make less D-Ribose. Less ATP production equals less energy and less cellular integrity. What's going to have D-Ribose in it? Anchovies, oily fish, beef, caviar, eggs, nuts, asparagus, spinach, dairy products, which I don't eat, right? D-Ribose is a game changer for chronic fatigue patients. It sure is. And this is the one that this L-Carnitine and this D-Ribose are the exact ones that he recommends. So they're the ones we sell in the office and online because I figure if he's already done the work and the research and he knows all about it. But listen to this. Also, post-COVID syndrome patients, right? Alzheimer's, congestive heart failure, diabetes, lupus, my good friend who has MS, and lots more. It's also been hypothesized that in certain heart conditions, ATP is lost from the heart and that the ability for the heart to resynthesize ADT is limited by the low supply of D-Ribose. This was from Dr. Gaby's book, which I've been reading all week for you all. Look at this, trying to figure out what to do for our post-COVID patients. And it seems like a no-brainer to me, common sense. I haven't seen it anywhere yet. I haven't seen people talking about it. This and L-Carnitine. I have the CoQ10 and the PQQ, but this is a no-brainer to me. So this is a part of my protocol right now. And then one other thing, PQQ. So mainly what I'm taking now is this post-COVID thing. I'm still taking all these other things, but not in the higher doses I was. PQQ. Let me tell you about PQQ. I had never heard of PQQ until last month when I was listening to Dave Asprey's book, Superhuman. I was listening to it listening to it. It was so good, I ordered the stinking book. This book is phenomenal on biohacking your life and living to age 120. That's his goal. But then he was talking about pyrroloquinolone. I can't say it. I practiced it. I was so good. Pyrroloquinone. Pyrroloquinolone, PQQ, our good friend PQQ. I took this 2 nights ago, started watching Bridgerton, which I don't have Netflix. I had to use my daughter's. Never seen Bridgerton. I took this too late in the afternoon. It specifically says don't do it. I was up till 1:30 watching that good-looking Duke Hastings. Holy moly. I'm going to tell you, this is a powerhouse of energy. My rep, Denise, I called her. I said, I've ordered a whole bunch of this in for the office. She said, Dani, Mito PQQ is a hidden gem of energy for our chronic fatigue syndrome patients. What? So PQQ is a huge word. It's a $10 word, right? What Dave Asprey says is, this is a direct quote from him. It can increase mitochondrial density to provide more energy, reduce inflammation, boost metabolism, combat oxidative stress, improve fertility, improve memory ability, and protect the heart. What? That's what I was joking about in my newsletter, was that I spent $200,000 on an education at Vanderbilt. Never once did they include pyrroloquinone. I mean, what? That's a $10 word, and they love $10 words at Vandy over there. And I'm telling you, so it's interesting. The body cannot make PQQ. Isn't that interesting? But it's found in a few foods like parsley, green tea, green peppers, which are inflammatory to most people. Green peppers are, kiwi, and papaya. It's an enzyme cofactor possessing antioxidant, neuroprotective, and cardioprotective properties. I'm so mad that I did not know about PQQ. Dave Asprey in his book says PQQ is an antioxidant that is about 100 times more powerful than vitamin C at protecting our cells from free radicals, which keeps us young and healthy, right? It works on the mitochondria differently than L-Carnitine. So remember, L-Carnitine goes through the transport system, like it helps transport into the cells. PQQ stimulates the cell signaling pathways that begin the potential for increased mitochondrial production. Bottom line, it may benefit many conditions that have mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, the beauty of this one is that it has rhodiola in it. So now if you can't take rhodiola, you wouldn't want this one. Rhodiola is one of my all-time favorite adrenal adaptogens for energy, for memory recall, for adrenal fatigue. It is a phenomenal adaptogen, rhodiola is. So this actually has 300 milligrams of rhodiola in it and 20 milligrams of PQQ. So if you are sensitive, you may want to take one of them, which is 10 milligrams. I took two, and I have had more energy since starting this. Now, I'm not back 100% by any means, but I am better than I was since starting my own personal, you can take a picture of that if you want, my own personal post-COVID long hauler syndrome, be the guinea pig protocol. My energy has been better than it's been in 2 weeks. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it keeps going. But this is going to be, now I probably won't be on L-Carnitine forever. D-Ribose maybe, because I love D-Ribose, and it's in my water right here. And it tastes sweet to me a little bit. So that's my protocol. That's what I'm doing. That is now on the newsletter. And if you want the newsletter, go sign up for the newsletter at DaniWilliamson.com, and you have an actual printout of my protocol printed off. I've gotten so many emails from people saying, thank you so much. We will resend it out tomorrow with my updated information on me. If I make any tweaks, I'll let you all know. But this is what I have done. It doesn't mean it's your protocol. I own a supplement store, for crying out loud. Most people can't do all of this. But if I had to choose, if I had COVID and I was struggling with energy, I would start those 4 products right there. And by the way, Evilo, we haven't gotten it together yet. And I was checking to see if he texted me back. our online supplement store, which is, at DaniWilliamson.com, the Carewell IFM supplement store, we are putting together a post-COVID. I may have to rename it because I don't like it when you put that name and stuff. Post-COVID energy recovery protocol. And it will actually have me, when you get it, it will have, written out what I've done and how to do it. So we actually are putting that together, but they have every single one of those products separately right now on the Carewell store. So I'll let you know any tweaks that I make. It's been a journey. I can tell you that. I'm getting over the shame of it. It's interesting. It's just interesting. And be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. This is a hard season, and this is going to be a hard week too. It's a new beginning this week, but there's a lot of nerve, issues out there, and just a lot of anxiousness. So be kind, be good. Know that I sure do appreciate you all. Next Sunday night on Sunday night service is Jeff Thurston, who owns Master Supplements. That's our Theralac and our Enzalase and our True Bifido and our systemic enzymes. He's going to be talking about the power of systemic enzymes and probiotics and how he started the company 20-something years ago. It's phenomenal. Probiotic and enzyme company. That's all they sell are enzymes and probiotics, and they've done a really good job with it. And so that's next Sunday night at 6:00. And then the 31st is when we're doing the live cooking with Shondi. And I will send out a newsletter and also on Facebook that has the recipe that we're following and that we're going to do. And we can all cook together at the same time, healthy food to boost your immune system. She's brilliant at what she does. She's in Montana, and I've had her on twice, and we're doing a live cooking show, long distance. I tried to figure out a virtual birthday party. I got a whole bunch of people that emailed me and said, let's just have a virtual Zoom party. I have not had the energy to, or the time to get that done. So I don't guess I'll be doing that tomorrow for my birthday. I'll do my regular Facebook Live, and there you go. And next year we'll have a big birthday party. If you need anything, our buy one, get one free food sensitivity test is still going on. Food sensitivity leaky gut test until January the 28th. Precision Point Diagnostics, formerly Dunwoody Labs, is still offering the buy one, get one free $374. That test is $374 normally for the test. Then you get the same $300 leaky gut test with zonulin, histamine, DAO. It's a phenomenal deal. They've never done it. They did it December. They extended it to January. So it goes through January 28th and January 23rd, this coming up Saturday. The mobile phlebotomist will be in the office for those of you that live out of town that want, you just call the office, 615-944-3530. That's that. If you have signed up for the newsletter and you have not gotten it, we went and we got in touch with the newsletter company. They said there were over 500 of you that had signed up for the newsletter but never clicked the confirmation email. You will not get the newsletter if you did not confirm that you were the person who put the newsletter, who put your email in. So that being said, even if you all did that, maybe I would go out and try it again, even if you did click the confirmation. But if you did not, and I know they know the people who didn't click it, but now I don't have time to go through 500 emails. I can't do that. There were about 400 or 500 emails as well that had entered in their wrong email address. So maybe double check that you haven't put your wrong email, done something wrong. So I can't control any of that. I mean, the newsletter goes out to thousands upon thousands of people, and thousands of people answer it or open it because I can see who opens it. But we've had people saying whenever I said, guys, why aren't, if you're not getting the newsletter, you got to confirm it. You got to confirm it. So guys, I appreciate you all so much. If you have any questions, you can email info@DaniWilliamson.com about the office. If you have questions about supplements, email store. I'm going to put it up here. store at DaniWilliamson.com, and Jackson for supplement questions. Jackson will answer your questions. You know, we have free delivery on Mondays and Wednesdays, just trying to keep the office open and everybody paid. Free delivery within a 20-mile radius. We have our online supplement store, which is fantastic. Kate and Evilo manage that, and they do an excellent job. If you all want things on our online supplement store, just email Jackson. We'll get them to put it up there, okay? Or if you want us to sell something specific. But that's the online supplement store right there. All right, guys, I sure do appreciate you. Love you more than you'll ever know. Thank you for the prayers. Look, I'm getting a little bit stuffy tonight. I can already hear it. So you all can go ahead and log off. I'm going to type on a few things up here for you all, and then I will sit down with some more water and maybe my beef stew and start answering your questions one by one over here. All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate hey, one thing you can do for me for my birthday. You want to do that? Okay. Listen to you like you all want to give me a birthday present. I need every single one of you that are on Instagram to go share my page, Dani Williamson Wellness. You can share my page or my whatever on there. I need you to ask your tribe to follow me. I am less than 2,000 people away from being able to have the swipe up option. You have to have 10,000 followers. And I don't pay for followers. I have gotten each follower one click at a time. I mean, I don't pay to get followers because I want people who actually follow me, who like me. Share that, because if I can get 10,000 followers, I can put that swipe up link on there and I can share protocols. Like I can share their website and you can go straight to it. I can share research articles. Here's a 28-page article that Dr. Pizzorno was one of the authors on evidence supporting a phased immunophysiological approach to COVID-19 from prevention to recovery. Talks about everything I talked about tonight. I can do that for you all if I have 10,000 followers, and it makes it so much easier. I don't care if I have 5,000, five followers, but you have to have all these people that are part of your tribe in order to get all these special things on Instagram and Facebook. So if you all will do that, please share. Even if you just have a couple of people that follow me, all that adds up. I just want to be able to share things with you all that I don't have the time to do, right? Because I'm busy and I work full time. So I do the best I can giving you all free information, but I know I could do so much more. Anyway, so there you go. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Go share me. I will put it, Instagram is Dani Williamson Wellness, and I'm going to put up some other stuff up here right now. You all can start logging off. And you all can answer each other's questions as well. So my Instagram is Dani Williamson Wellness. Go follow me. Follow me and share it, right? Let's get your people. We're not talking about the vaccine tonight, Tricia. It's already been over an hour. Do you all want me to do a Sunday night service talking about that? Now, that's extremely controversial. I talked about it last night on Instagram Live. I think everyone, here's the one thing I'm going to say. You have to do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for you. If you, I'm going to put up the supplement store up here. If you need anything, because y'all are asking. You have to do what's best for you with the vaccine and your family. I haven't had the vaccine. Clearly, I haven't. Use code Dani to get into the online supplement store. You also get $5 off your first order. For SPMs or anything Metagenics, their link, because they don't allow me to sell that on my online supplement store. You have to go through Metagenics, and here's that they set us up a store, and you also get $5 off your first order as well. Okay. So we've set it up where you all get discounts. Just like on that sauna, $75 off. There we go. Right there. Come on. Share. I'm not against vaccines. I'm fully immunized. I haven't had a vaccine in over probably 11 years. Nothing in my body. I've never had a reaction to a vaccine. I have a tremendous amount of friends who are integrative practitioners, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners who've all got the vaccine already. I think you all would be real surprised who's gotten the vaccine. I haven't. And I've had some office members get it, some who haven't. I'm still waiting. Clearly right now, I don't need it right now. Apparently I've got coverage for about maybe 70 days. The vaccine only gives you coverage for about a year. So I think it's going to be a yearly vaccine. I don't know. But what I do know is that if I get the vaccine, then that's my business. If you get the vaccine, that is your business, right? It's nobody's business. I support you whether you get it, whether you don't get it. I think it's so new. None of us know anything. So who's going to judge? I'm not going to judge you if you do get it or if you don't get it. I for darn sure will get it if they tell me I have to have it to go into the assisted living to see my mom. I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter to me what you think. And you can quit following me. You can do all that. And I don't say that callously, but you don't control my life and I don't control your life. And if you don't like it that I would have gotten it, then that's okay. That's okay. We live in a free country still. And if they tell me I have to have a vaccine to get on an airplane, because I'm 55 tomorrow, by the way, in case you don't know, it's my birthday tomorrow. And my mission at age 50 was to travel well and eat well and travel well the rest of my life and love well. I'm still working on that. I'm loving well. I'm just not loving one person well. If you choose not to get it, it's fine. So, and I'm going to travel. And I've traveled the last 5 years more than I traveled my entire life. I grew up with no money. So if I have to have it to go to Greece next summer, then I'll get it. And then I'll detox. I'll set in my sauna. I'll take super high dose SPMs. If you are getting the vaccine, then you take high dose SPMs, right? Before it and after it to help with that inflammatory response that you're going to get from it. So if you get it, then I'll still be around you. I think we're so polarized on this. It's nobody wants to talk about it, and everybody says hateful things about it. And I don't have any time for hatred. God's in control of every single bit of this, whether you get the vaccine or not, whether you do, whether you don't, he's in control. And so just know that, you have to do what's best for you. Period. I was watching Dr. Terry Walls yesterday do an Instagram live, and she has multiple sclerosis, and she's coming on Sunday night service, by the way, March 21st. She, the Multiple Sclerosis Society recommends that all patients with MS get the vaccine, and she agrees. She said, I agree. I 100% support what they say. And she is one of the top functional medicine medical doctors out there in the world. And so, again, I think you'd be real surprised at who's getting it. And there are reasons for it, right? And so, but it doesn't matter. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to the unkind, as Layla Bell says right there. Be kind to the unkind. Be kind to each other. And I appreciate you all. And I rambled. I got complained about because I rambled. But I did go over 13 minutes. Sorry. But I think that's good information that you all got tonight. And I appreciate you. And I will sit down here in just a minute and start answering messages. Okay. I'm going to be off work all this week. I'd made a decision. I felt better doing that. And I don't have to. I could have gone in. But again, there's a piece of this fear that I'm dealing with. And I just don't want to, risk anything with anybody. So I sure do appreciate you guys. Have a great night. And thank you for supporting me. And get over to, Jamie, thank you. I commented. I saw it and I just said, yes, I'm sorry. I'm a rambler. I wasn't voted most talkative 1984 Marshall County High School for nothing. And sometimes I say things that don't mean anything, but I think that this has been important rambling tonight. Guys, get over to Instagram and please share my page. I want you to share. I want to be able to give you all of this information that I have stockpiled up for you all that I just can't get out. Okay. But I can't do it with under 10,000 people. It's BS. All right, guys. Erica, I love you so much and I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. All right. Angela, you too. Becky, every single one of you. Kelly, no, I love you. And I'm tired. Woo, look, I've worked up myself up. I don't think I have a fever. And I haven't had a fever the whole time. But anyway, I'm feeling much better. I'm getting my groove back, guys, and I appreciate your prayers. I've felt every single one of them. Okay, I'm going to get emotional. Got to go. Bye.